right, are you ready, Patty? Okay. Welcome everyone to the Murray City Municipal Council Committee of the Whole meeting, February 4th, 2025. Wow, we're in February already. Phew. Okay, the first thing I would like to announce is that the live stream Facebook is not working. There is a link that will take you to YouTube, but the live stream is also on YouTube and that is working. So now that I got that piece of information out to the citizens that are watching, it's great, now we can go forward. First thing is, I'd like to welcome everybody out today. First thing is the approval of minutes. Was there any corrections or concerns on the minutes of January 7th, 2025?
No, they were great.
Perfect. If there were no concerns or corrections,
I make the motion.
all in favor to?
Guys, we didn't motion.
Oh, I need a, sorry, yes, thank you.
I make a motion that we approve the minutes from the Committee of the Whole, January 7th, 2025.
I'll second it.
We have a first, we have a second, great. All in favor to approve the minutes, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, thank you. Where are we at now? Okay, first discussion. I'm just trying to find where I'm going to report. Got it, number 2. Discuss an ordinance relating to the land use amends the general plan from office to high-density residential and amends the zoning map from G-O general office to R-M-25 multi-family high-density residential for the property located at 825-865 East 4800 South Murray City. Zachary Smallwood will be presenting. There's 15 minutes, and welcome,
Hi.
Zach.
Thank you for having me. Nice to meet you
Nice to meet you,
officially.
Zach. Yep.
Yeah. So let me get this guy where he needs to be. Okay. I think you guys just continue this so that you could talk to me about it. Because I was laying on my deathbed and watching you all at home as Chad and David did a great job doing it. I was sitting there watching and frantically texting answers to questions that luckily they didn't see because they didn't look at their phones.
So you really weren't on your deathbed if you're texting that.
I was still on my deathbed. That's how committed I am. Anyway, so yeah, I'm here today to talk, to continue the conversation about the Lotus development. This is on 825 to 865 East, 4800 South. You guys would know it as the Spring Pines, I think, office complex. And yeah, so currently it is zoned GO, which is general office. That allows for things like massage therapy, body art studios, and professional type development type stuff. They are requesting a general plan change for the future land use to go from office to high density residential, and then a zone map amendment from the GO to RM25. So those are really all the slides because I know we have a lot of questions to get into and there's only 15 minutes.
Yes.
So I am happy to just jump right in with questions you guys have.
All right, okay.
Yeah.
So I've kind of personal experience with this area,
Perfect.
and I've been in those buildings. In fact, I walked around it about a week ago. They're rundown. I mean, it's time to do something over there because I mean it's. I'm not going to say it's a accident waiting to happen, but they're showing their age pretty bad.
For sure.
So I get that. And also I've noticed that some other businesses have applied to go into there.
Okay.
I know a new tattoo shop I think is on your guys's
Okay.
page. And I don't have a problem with tattoo shops.
Yeah, for sure.
I really don't. Don't get me wrong. But is it really what we want in that area? Is that what the residents want? I mean, it's what, 3 buildings, I think, or
Yeah, it's technically 5.
yeah, because they're all like
they're
but
just
they're all like
connected
connected
weird.
together.
Yeah,
I think
there's
like
3
separate.
disconnected
Right.
buildings. Yeah.
So do we want 3 buildings full of body art studios?
Sure.
That'd be awesome. I mean,
Sure.
we'd be like the the Venice of body art. But,
Right.
so I've been inside those things. They need something. One question I have is that little strip along Van Winkle, Salt Lake County owns that?
Yes, so let me.
Because the creek runs through that.
Yeah, it's a little funky, but yes, this little section, it's actually not Salt Lake County, it's Salt Lake City.
City, okay.
Yeah, you're probably aware in this neighborhood that there are some properties that get their water from
Right,
Salt Lake City Public
exactly.
Utilities. So yeah, this section right here is owned by Salt Lake City, and then also this portion
Yeah,
here is owned by
that's
Salt
where the
Lake
river
City.
runs along,
Yep.
exactly.
Yep.
So I think I've spoken with Chad.
Yeah.
And, and unfortunately, can't speak to the developers in person, and, my nativity was hoping I'd be able to look at them in the eye and say, what are you gonna build there?
Sure.
But that's not possible. But I understand they're gonna build, the idea is right now 64 independent homes for purchase, correct?
So, I apologize if this, I don't. So, yes, that is their intent.
Okay.
That's what I can say is that is their
But
intent.
that could completely change.
That can
They could go
change,
to,
yes. Yes, they could decide that they want to do 64 rentals.
Right,
But they couldn't do more than 64.
right, because of
Yeah.
the parking
Yeah.
and the amount of area and stuff like that.
Yeah, the
Exactly.
density of the area of that, RM25.
So, traffic I'm not worried about because, that corner of Murray, you're either cutting down Van Winkle or you're going up 48th. It'll be the same approximately. But I'm just worried that what we put in there, the other residents would approve of. And I understand there was a letter that went out to all the residents in that area, right, the surrounding area.
For our public notice?
Yeah.
Yes, so there would have been multiple.
I thought they put out.
They
put
did,
out.
they
You know
did
what was
go-
on that?
I believe there was.
Because apparently they got no pushback on that whatsoever, no replies, no nothing.
I will say that that is something that has changed over the previous iterations. Is
Okay.
that public comment has reduced every time they've tried to amend and change it a little bit
Mm-hmm.
more. It's reduced the number of
People are
public
just-
comments.
Becoming weary, I think.
I don't know if they're becoming weary or if they generally are just more accepting of the project.
Okay.
We have received some emails, as council members,
From the developer?
from citizens
Okay,
who aren't completely thrilled with the idea.
okay. Gotcha.
So, it has been a bucket load, but we've received some.
Okay.
Can I ask a question? Zach, what's the vacancy in there? Is it?
That's a great question. I don't know.
I don't know.
what their
It's got.
tenant
I've been up there
vacancy
too.
Oh, it's high.
Yeah.
It's got, I bet you there's maybe 5 businesses
is.
in
Yeah,
there.
there's not many.
That's all.
Yeah, it's pretty empty.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
I think there's more than that.
It's
not-
you see the sign.
I think there's more on the sign than there really is occupied.
Oh, okay.
But I'd say about 50%, I guess.
And it's
looking
pretty,
at it.
it changes often. People are in there for a
yeah,
couple months and
they
they're out.
do seem to switch.
Yeah,
They are mostly on month to month.
we drove over there and I walked around it and I didn't think it was that bad. I thought it was kind of a cool place, needed some TLC, but I didn't think it's like falling down or, it was still in pretty good shape, but
Yeah.
it does need some refurbishing, so
Mhm.
I don't know. What we can look at is the zoning, not
Correct.
what's going in there.
Exactly.
That's correct.
Yeah.
So really, you're really looking at the differences in the zones and whether that change in zoning is appropriate for this area.
Right.
Yeah, because they could put anything that's in that zone that's improved. So, they can say, well, we're gonna have all of this housing, for sale housing, but it may not fit their bottom line, so they could
Right.
completely change that. So we need to look at the zoning.
Right, and they did apply for RM15 last year.
I think 2 years ago.
2 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was 2022, right?
Yeah.
So, but the council didn't like that idea. It didn't pass.
Correct.
And I don't know what any of the
Well,
reasons.
I'll tell you what
were.
happened. I remember this very specifically. Rosalba was, I can't remember the concern, but she had a concern. And I think she was supported by everyone. And then it was either last year or the year after that, she comes back and tells us that she's talked to all her residents. They're good with this. And I don't even know if it was this project. Was it a one?
I think it was.
Different one?
I think it was this one.
It is this
Yeah,
one.
I think this one.
Is this the same, the one that?
Yeah, this application has been going for
Okay,
quite a bit.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right, I think you're right.
Yeah, I
She
just
had
remember there was
concerns
some,
and
she was
so-
concerned and.
Right, and so
And
then,
then you guys didn't do it.
that
and then-
impacted
and she
us.
came back the next year, and I don't know what they had done different or whatever, but she was for it then with her citizens, and I'm not sure. I can't remember the reasoning,
Right.
but I think I'm accurate on that.
I think. And this is the last thing I had from the Spring Pines. That's the last I had. Is their development update for community outreach and things. I
I
can.
haven't seen this.
Sorry,
I've seen it.
there we go.
Oh.
Yeah.
We had this before the.
You go back down, Zach, hold on, will you let me look at that?
Yeah. There you go.
Oh, I meant the rendering, or whatever.
That's just a
Yeah,
picture
that's
of
a
the
picture.
Oh, that's
existing.
not the-
That's the existing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
place.
sorry.
You're good. But this was all the way back from July, so it was quite a while.
Remind us when you had your plan on.
Well, oddly enough, I've had, the most recent one was October 17th of
And that's-
last year.
So a few months ago.
Yeah, for sure. And we even had one before that where they included the neighboring single-family
Yeah.
zoning.
Yeah.
So as I read this, we asked about the bus routes nearby.
Sure.
Are there
Yeah.
bus routes nearby?
There, I believe, Chad looked into this and I believe there was one.
One right across the street.
Yeah, one across the street, but there's not like.
So on the north
high
side of Van
frequency.
Winkle?
Yeah.
No, it's not Van Winkle, it's on 48,
48.
those apartments right there. There's apartments already on the
It's on
north side of
48.
48. There's a bus stop right there, because there's a ton of kids.
So there's one route.
One route.
Yeah, just one.
And I'm assuming nobody knows the frequency of that route there.
Let's take.
Well, I think that's the Hillcrest bus. So that one takes kids to Hillcrest, so twice a day,
Twice a day.
drop off and pick up.
There's a public bus route.
Yeah, there's
More
a,
than,
yeah,
more than
that would
twice,
be
yeah.
more than
There's
twice a
one
day.
runs
Oh, so we're talking about UTA.
Yeah.
Oh, UTA, I was talking Murray.
Yeah, sorry.
Not UTA.
Zach, I have a question.
For sure.
If they had presented the RM15 request and it was turned down because of neighbors speaking up against that, I don't understand them coming back with an even higher density still.
Right.
With that. It just seems like they're going the wrong direction.
Sure. So what they expressed to me was that it was just the way that market conditions had changed and them holding onto the property
That's
as
what I
it
read.
currently exists
Right.
is what that concern.
Yeah, there
ended
was
up
a
being,
comment in
is
here
Yeah.
that they couldn't, it was financially not capable to do the RM15 anymore.
that- Right.
Could they return with a request for RM15? Or once you
So here's how,
bridge is burnt?
here's how it works. So if they decide to move forward with the application and have you guys vote before it, so if, these are all hypotheticals.
Yeah.
Let me explain that. That if it were voted down, our code states that they can't reapply for something for a year.
For a year.
Right. If they withdraw the application, they can reapply under a new zoning district. But they would have to be the ones that withdraw the
The application.
application.
So if we shoot down the RM25, they can't like reapply for an RM15.
Not right away.
But they can wait a year and then come back with an
They
RM15.
could wait a year,
But
yes.
they withdraw before we vote on it, right?
But they withdraw, no, I'm saying if we vote it down.
Yeah,
But then we have to, if they don't, if they withdraw it within the next 2 weeks before we vote, then they can
Then they can
They can
propose
do
something.
it in 2 months.
Right.
They can come up with a new one and do
They would go
part
back to
15.
planning commission.
Yeah, exactly. They have to go through the planning commission process.
To answer that question with the bus route, it's 30 minutes.
Okay.
On that one. So
What
one bus
minutes?
route. It's the 209.
209.
It comes every 30 minutes?
Yep.
All right, that's workable. 25 can work.
Okay.
And if I can just express my opinion.
Sure.
My first understanding with this property was it was gonna be RM15.
Mhm.
And I wasn't on the council when they voted that down. I'm comfortable with RM15. I am. I'm not very comfortable with high density RM25 rezoning. Because they can't guarantee anything to us because once they get it rezoned,
Mhm.
they could turn around and sell the property to another investor who's gonna say, promises out the window,
Right.
I can do what I want. Now, most likely they're not going to, but I just don't want to open that door.
Mhm.
I'm uncomfortable with that door right now.
It's an area that works commercially. We're already going RM25. There's still a part of me, it's like, why aren't we considering a VMU zone here? That's not on the table, but that's on the back of my mind. Because you know me, we
Yeah.
don't like flipping our office and commercial space to residential. I worry about that. I don't know.
Yeah, because I mean, what brings in, I mean,
I don't know.
All right, so I just had one question that was brought to Chad, and I'm just wondering if there was an answer. My question was, I have concerns about the little piece of property to the west. My thoughts are, they can sell that to another developer, and then that buffer will be gone. Does this little piece of property serve as a buffer, number one? Number two, or can they come back and ask for a zone change on that piece of property, right? Is this little piece of property owned by Lotus?
It is. So
So
here's,
they could come back and ask for a zone change.
so this is, yes, they could.
Okay,
I can tell you what their intent is currently.
okay.
Now, I don't want to get too deep into the weeds because it could be more project specific.
Right.
But from what I understood is that, so here we have the zoning map. What they want to do is cut this property off, this single family zone, this single family home, sorry. And then incorporate this back area into this development as part of their open space requirements. And there's discussions about that would be, that all depends upon whatever happens with the zoning. We don't get too far into that right now.
Right.
Because we're
But they
here.
could- Well, like the other council members have said, they could sell it, and then whoever buys it could do whatever they want with that little piece of property.
As far as it's
That's
zoned.
very iffy.
Or could they come in and ask for a zone, the
They
new property owner?
they could come in and ask
Okay,
for
and I
a
know
zone
it's all
change.
hypothetical,
Yes.
but I'm just thinking a little bit.
Yeah,
And I have a problem with up in the height. It says up to 40 feet
Right.
max as approved by the planning commission, and I have a big problem with 40 feet. And that's where
pretty high.
my hangup is right now, is that 40 feet.
okay.
Okay.
Do you know what the height is for a single family zoning district?
35.
Just what?
It's a 35.
It is
35,
35.
right.
So it's a 5-foot difference.
Right.
On that typically. So I just wanted to, that wasn't really like a gotcha question.
No,
I just wanted to
no.
know if you knew.
Yeah, oh yeah,
Yeah.
because it
Council
says
knows
height
themselves.
is, the GO is
Right.
30 feet when within
Look at
100
zones.
feet of
Yeah.
residential zone.
Yeah,
May increase 1 inch in height per additional 4 feet of setback.
right.
Yes.
So GO is different. Yeah, GO
Yeah.
would be different, but in a single family,
Yeah.
you can do 35,
Okay.
just writ large.
Okay. Alrighty,
Do we need to extend this discussion or have we
I
asked
will-
all the questions that we have asked?
I will
I-
do whatever the council members,
think we need to
I
be
know where I'm
comfortable.
lying.
There's a lot of questions. I don't know. Is it time? Is it, what is it gonna take, or do we have the info we need?
I'm wondering if another meeting's gonna make us any more settled on this one.
I don't think so.
I don't know if we have questions, I think we're just gonna have to ask CED over the next couple weeks, and
Okay.
Yeah.
that's kind of where I am. If I have another meeting, I don't know if it's gonna change how I feel on this, like, I might be unsettled until I vote. So,
Yeah, please reach out to us with any
Yeah.
questions you
Yeah.
have between.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
And you can also have a discussion in the council meeting as well.
yeah,
Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
and if we need to, I really hate if we could table it for 2 weeks, if we get in there and we want to.
Yeah,
It's
and
not
I think
ideal, but
that is something that could help too, is being able to talk to the applicant specifically in the public hearing, where you guys have that opportunity, where it doesn't happen as much in this setting. I think they are here, but you guys don't typically talk to them in this type of setting.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I just think it's important that we think this carefully. There's no knee-jerk reaction or,
Right.
um,
yeah,
I know the applicants have spent a lot of time and money, and we want to take this seriously and not just say, I hate high density, we're going to vote it down, or
Yeah.
we're going to vote for it,
Right.
just,
so I'm fine, I say let's bring it to a public meeting, let the
Okay.
citizens be there, and if we aren't settled, we just table it for 2 weeks and we listen to what everybody has to say.
yeah, it'd be good to talk to the developers in a public setting
Okay,
I think so.
so
Yeah.
you guys are
Yeah.
comfortable then moving forward
Yeah.
with
Yeah.
that?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
are you, Diane, are you
Yeah,
okay
I'm
with that?
I'm
Okay.
over here shaking my.
So, well, I can't see the going.
Yes, that works.
Okay,
Great,
and you,
No, I'm comfortable with that move.
I feel better.
awesome.
Thanks.
Okay,
thanks.
well, thank you.
Alrighty.
Thanks, Zach.
Yeah, thank you.
Now we will, we've lost a little bit of time, but I will catch us up. Oh, I'm okay. So it's my turn on the legislative update. Well, things always change. So this update is for January 27th and February 3rd. The league decides what to talk about in LPC, which is Legislative Policy Committee meetings that will have the most impact on the cities. These are the standings that the league will be taking on the various bill, is monitoring, opposes, position pending, and support. The past two LPC meetings have been the largest attendance in the years past. The league, which is ULCT, is tracking over 160 bills. First is housing is not one size fits all solution in all community. Medium costs over 6 times the income. Rural issues are different from other cities. Infrastructure is a major area of concern. Senate Bill 181, which I am given by our lobbyists. I get one of these every time I go up, Jennifer and I go up, and it's always changing and they add more bills. So as Senate Bill 181 is housing affordability amendments. The league would like to see some more amendments working towards support. Senator Lincoln Fillmore held the bill in committee last night, which I was sent a text with, an email, and I think all the council members received these emails from the league last night to provide time for those amendments. So that was on Senate Bill 181. HB 360 is housing attainability. The league supports with amendments some missing CHA items, which is Commission on Housing Affordability. HB 368 is local land use task force bill. The league supports with amendments, and the league had a meeting at 4 p.m. February 3rd, which was yesterday, with the committee and Representative Stephen White. Did I say that right, Jennifer? Wyatt or White? White, thank you. Last night, he agreed to hold the bill for a few days to make sure everyone has a chance to review it. So as you can see, they're always moving and changing. So HB 81 was the fluoride. The league has no position on that. HB 507 stormwater bill has not been drafted yet and is still coming forward. HB 58, building official amendments. The league supports this bill, and this is what it is all about. Add new qualification for building officials. That's not a building inspector. qualified building official means an individual who has at least 6 years of experience as an architect, engineer, inspector, plan examiner, contractor, or superintendent of construction, or any combination of these. Actively licensed as a combination of inspector in accordance with section 58-56-A, and has completed, turn page, 40 hours of management training as established by the division in a rule or in a certified building official. The league is currently supporting this bill as drafted, but would want to change some changes with it. Also, looking at how this will affect smaller cities, and the league needs more time to negotiate. This is a big one, SB 165, Municipal Broadband Service Amendment. This was a very hot topic yesterday. I don't know if anybody was watching that, and this is what it says. Municipal Broadband Service Amendments, the league spoke out against it at the Senate Review and Tax Committee meeting on February 3rd, but the bill still went through. One of the big concerns with this bill is that it will require voter approval for revenue bonds that fund municipal infrastructure, which is currently not required. The league will continue to have conversation with the sponsor to try to improve the bill. What I had the impression that Murray, Doug, GL Mayor, is that Murray will be grandfathered in.
That's correct.
Okay, thank you. HB 40.
But with that one, if we did anything with Utopia in the future, if it passes, then we'd have to go to.
Yes,
Yeah.
Anything new?
yes, anything new,
With revenue bonds, even for power.
yes.
As much as I hate to say this, that doesn't bother me. I'd like to say it does just because they're getting into everything we do, putting their hands in. But if that had happened maybe years ago, that may not have passed, Murray. You know, then because there's a lot of people bugged with Utopia. No, they love it. They love Utopia. It's just the expense it costs.
Right.
We're still paying for that for another 17 years.
Yep.
Long time.
Costs so much. Yeah.
Okay,
Thank you.
H, you're welcome. And always jump in, any Doug, GL, Mayor, Jennifer, jump in if I say anything that is not correct. Because, you know, my notes are not.
Doing great.
HB 4051 is school safety, the league is neutral on that. Senate Bill 195, transportation, the league opposes as drafted. This will deal with cities that have canal road connections. So, HB 198 is the this is very interesting, this one, but not the one that I'm gonna talk about. HB 198 is highway expansion, impact on signage. Reconstruction of I-15, which will have impact on billboards along I-15 in Davis County and Salt Lake County. The league opposes as drafted, and the league will be having a meeting with outdoor members, correct? Yep, that's what I got. Okay. HB 379, population data, clarifies that Utah population estimates are to be used as basis in formula for state funding distribution to local government needs. The league would like more tweaking on this, and the league is working towards supporting. HB 179, local regulation of business entities, the league's position is pending. The homeless bills are pending. No language on the transportation fee. Tourism tax update could affect counties. And my favorite is coming back, if I heard it right.
Gravel.
Sand and gravel is coming back.
I didn't talk to her, but I was 1,000,000% that's what she's gonna say.
Sand and gravel is coming back. Now, I have no idea where these and the other bills stand because the bills change every minute of a day. So what I'm saying now could all change, and I won't know that until I get home and read my email from the league. This year's bills have a lot of twists and turns and moving pieces. Now, yes?
HB 274 water amendments from Representative Snyder. Did he present to the LPC on that one last
No,
week?
he did not.
Okay.
So, nothing.
Right.
And if it was, we would have caught it. and we-
It's not, it hasn't moved yet, it's still in a standing committee.
Yeah,
but
so
I'm
we haven't gotten any.
intrigued to see where it goes.
Also, the executive director has additional responsibilities. This is on the lighter note. Responsibility going to the Capitol with a council member, moi, to parallel park her car that has no backup camera. That is her new duty. Because I couldn't parallel park my car. It was classic.
You got out of the car.
I got out of the car, went in the passenger, she went into the driver's seat, and she went, and we're done. I failed that in driving school, I won't tell you how many years ago. But anyways, that is my report. Do we have any council comments? Yes.
I have a question.
Sure.
So what's happening with the public employee organizing, I don't know, do you know?
HB 267, it's currently circled, they're working on the
Yeah.
amendments right now.
Is that what
They,
you mean?
there's a
It
sub,
has the
there's
union,
a second
yes.
sub
Public
to it.
employee.
They didn't even bring that in to any of the conversation.
So
to
there's
us.
there's a second sub on it, there's discussion on a third sub, and they're waiting to vote on the Senate. So it passed on the second vote, but it might not pass on the third vote. Everybody's waiting on what the last sub looks like. Yeah.
But the league,
I know.
as I was told when I was up there yesterday, the league decides what is talked about in the LPC meetings that will have the most impact on the cities. So that's why what we are given is what they give us, is going to impact the different cities around the state of Utah.
Okay.
So when I don't have any information, it's because they didn't talk about it, so. All I can say is get on the website when they send all of us the update, and Justin Lee is always there, or Molly is on there, and they always give the updates of things that have an impact with the cities. So,
That
Any-
has an impact with the cities.
yep, that's,
How do I get on that?
Great.
there you go.
So Pam, let me ask you, do you guys feel like, I may be incorrect on this,
Oh, go
we
ahead.
watch it all the time, I don't feel like we're being as impacted this year as we have in the
I don't,
past.
well, sand and gravel,
Yeah,
Hey,
You gotta tell me.
we still got what,
later.
5 weeks left?
and that's true.
You're gonna like.
We all know that,
Crazy.
we saw that last year, where all of a sudden,
with the
they weren't doing
power.
anything, and they came out of committee and passed that day.
Did you have any questions
But
about?
it's, last year with IPA and everything,
that was
it was
big.
like crazy.
But I think because we're a smaller city,
And we do.
and we're following the rules.
We're-
We have great department heads that are following the rules, and well, I'm gonna say it, there's 10 cities that are not. And it's kind of like, you know what, fine them. And then Cameron said, okay, we'll give them a subpoena. And we were all laughing. But anyways, it's just, I don't see anything that's gonna be earth-shattering for Marie, but then again, like Councilman Hawk said, 5 weeks, it all change. So now we are on to reports from interlocal boards and commissions. First one is Transjordan Cities Board is Russ Kekala. Hi.
Hey, Russ.
Well, here I am for Transjordan. You know much about Transjordan?
Not a lot.
That's where all our garbage goes.
Oh, yeah, okay.
So just, so they're, I mean, operation wise, they're great. You know, they're burying garbage every day, so they're doing a great job of it. So the big update is actually the transfer station in Sandy, which its current completion date is May 19th. So if they hit that, it's coming up.
Will there be a ribbon cutting ceremony?
I'm pretty sure there will be
Some kind of a
something, yeah.
celebration? Okay.
Yeah, an opening or something, public opening.
Okay.
So, so we have a lot to discuss. We actually have a meeting Thursday, board meeting, and a work session to go over numerous things. It's probably about a 4-hour meeting, put with both of them together. I mean, hours of operation, tipping fees, staffing levels, wages and market studies that they've done, and then, key positions they've got to hire, the managers, operators to, you name it, to run the facility. So, and that's this Thursday. And so I would have more about that, but that's just what's been scheduled. So, but the good thing is we're on track to open this year. it's a little behind schedule, but it's the way construction goes sometimes.
Our tipping fee is gonna go up.
Yeah, and that's the scary part, right? So that's part of this discussion too. So they set it about $36 a ton. We're paying 26. So I talked to
That's huge.
and I mean, it's a short haul, right? From here to
Yeah.
basically Midville on 7th West, or just into Sandy. So you'd think our rates would drop for our hauler that would compensate for the tipping fees, but it's not looking that way. So Brenda's aware of it, the mayor's aware of it, and we decided to extend our contract with ACE until we'll go out to an RFP in November this year. Because the cost difference, and I didn't know for sure when it was opening, that was a shot in the dark at the time, so we needed to do it this year. So I think it's closer to May 19th, and that's what the plan is right now, and then we're gonna have to evaluate that cost. Environmentally, right, is it better to drive this far instead of driving all the way out there across 3 cities and come back? I don't know, that's a decision we need to make, so. Once I have the numbers after the RFP, Midvale City just did one, and they were upside down in it. So I think one of that discussion is bringing this down instead of a $10 increase per ton for the owners, is getting it to $7.50 should be a wash, is what he was talking about. So there's some things to hash out, but it don't make sense to drive all the way to Transjordan when they're right here.
Plus, it's an impact on their infrastructure going through double cities, right?
Well, I
Are we gonna be charged even more for that?
Well, it's $36 a ton versus 24. Our hauling rate should drop because they don't have to drive as far.
Right.
Fuel and so there's just some things to weigh out. I mean, it's great for our city garbage truck because they'll be able to tip on that floor right here. I know there's a worry about the natural gas because that's going away. So that's good for them. They don't have to go as far, right? And burn as much fuel getting out there and back, and then making sure they're fueled up on the way back so they can get back out there, plus pick up all the parts. So, so just some things we got to work out. It might make more sense to haul it all the way out there if we don't want to take that hit on that budget. But there's going to be a hit, so that's my update. So I'll know more after this week. So, okay. Any questions?
Thanks, Russ. Thank you. Okay. We are now Jordan River Commission with Kim Sorensen.
Council, how are you?
Good, Kim. How are you?
Scott, welcome.
Thank you, sir.
So the Jordan River Commission, for the benefit of Scott, is an organization that has members from all of the stakeholders along the Jordan River. Most of them have Jordan River Parkway, including the county and each of the cities. And then there's several businesses that are also involved with the commission. And the commission has really evolved over the last 30 or 40 years into, I think, a pretty important organization that does a great job. They take time to understand and learn and make recommendations. They have no regulatory authority for any of the cities or any of the counties, but they look at anything from the high priority things like dogs on a leash, all the way down to low priority, like trying to get the legislature and the state to give us money for different projects. So, in a nutshell, that's what the organization is. We just finished, or they're finishing up the equestrian trail between 5400 South and the Nature Center, putting in what's called chat, which is basically crushed granite. I've been on it and seen it. It looks great. It's a huge improvement. It's more like the canal trail.
Took a photo this morning.
Yes.
Let's see.
They're beautiful.
Is it yours?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's mine.
Oh, wow. Look at that.
That's nice.
And Paul and I didn't plan that, so thanks, Paul.
No, I went walk this morning. I went, whoa, what's this? So that's a
Yeah.
photo. It looks very nice.
So that was $48,000 that came from state legislature, basically the Jordan River Commission. is in push for
That's
that funding.
nice. Will you continue that down going south?
We are hoping to, so we used money that's came out of the zone. You may remember the zone. The current zone is currently from I-215 or 201 to 5400 south. So we can apply for projects in that zone.
Okay,
The zone will continue to move. When it moves to Bullion, we'll ask for funding to do that section as well,
Okay.
so.
that's great.
There are two issues that I thought might be of interest to the council. I'm not sure who, but I've heard some of you talk about them in the past. One is lighting along the trail. So lighting along the trail has been quite, I won't say controversial, but it's been quite a discussion. There is one section between 1900 North and 2100 that has some lights currently that the city's tried out. They haven't worked that well. They're hardwired. They are on a sensor, so they come on when somebody's under the lights, and then of course they go off. They have found that they have more problems with homeless in that area now with those lights. Maybe because the homeless has the lights come on and they know people are around, and then they go off, and then they've had wires stolen. So the commission has recommended a couple of things. They've recommended to limit lighting in more popular areas, trailheads, parking lots, and underpasses for safety. And then they've also recommended that we follow the International Dark Sky Association policies. And the lights have proven to impact wildlife, and especially with the migratory birds flying through there.
All the bats along the river. Oh,
Yeah, so here's what you're gonna see in budget time. Bruce Holyoke, our park superintendent, if you know the lights that are at Riverview Park we put in last year.
Yes.
They're solar lights. They meet the recommendations, and they're working pretty well. We're also putting them at Willow Pond. So the idea is we'll request in budget for some money funded to put in lights from 5400 South Germania parking to about the Nature Center and see how they work. We've taken this to the commission, and I think everybody's encouraged that at some point we'll have some lights, but hesitant if that makes sense. So we'll see if the council approves that money, and then we'll. The good thing about putting this type of light in is the lights aren't hardwired, so if they don't work, we can easily take them out and move them somewhere else. And I know it'll impact your area, but it's also an area that has some homes next to the trail, so it'll be interesting to see how well they work.
Yeah, and
How much is
that
it?
was my concern. We have two areas specifically in my district where the homes and the trail butt up next to each other.
Yeah.
And another one where there's a road between the trail and the homes, and that road is not only dark, it's tree covered.
Yeah.
It is the bottom of a dark sack
North
at
of-
midnight there.
North of 54.
What's that?
North of 54.
Germania.
Yeah, Germania area.
Yeah,
It's dark.
Every time I go walking there, there's always a car to park there, and it scares the daylight out of me.
How much is it gonna cost, and can we get funding somewhere else for that?
So we can certainly apply for funding from this same zone grant, and it's possible, maybe even probable that we would get funding, because a lot of the cities in the county are really interested in finding something that works.
Sounds like something that would
Yeah.
be
So, and certainly if the council decides to give us a portion of the money, we will use that, or we'll go for outside funding, wherever we can find it.
Yeah, because we have light on 1070 West, it just stops too soon.
Right.
We could continue the same side of the sidewalk, not even cut any streets, and just extend it to Sunbury and then behind the houses there, just 4, maybe 5 lights tops.
Now, the downside to the lights I'm talking about, during the summer months, they had enough energy or power to make it through the entire night. Wintertime, we're finding that they go till about 2 or 3 in the morning and they shut off.
Yeah.
we could,
Is there a way to adjust it so that
yeah, we
it's
can
from
adjust that,
twilight and then from a couple hours before sunrise?
we can do that.
I mean, that's during the peak times. That's when everybody uses the trail.
So,
What is the reason for the lighting?
so the reason for the lighting is you have, like you're talking about, safety. And then you also have a lot of people that are saying, well, not, we have people that are saying, hey, we would like to use the trail at nighttime or during dark, especially this time of year when it stays dark for so long.
Yeah.
So,
As a runner who runs on the trail at like 5 in the morning, it does get a little dark. So,
Yeah.
yeah, that's the
That's
flip
what
side.
Tremania's pitch black.
And my neighbors go walking typically after 6, so 6, 7, and by 8 they get some light.
Right.
But they get 2 hours of groups of ladies walking together, and they're always telling me, "It's scary, Paul. You gotta do something about it."
so you'll hear more about that. And then the other one, real quick, I know that we're probably short on time, is e-bikes. So we've looked at e-bikes over the years. Quite honestly, there's not a right or wrong answer to e-bikes. There is what's called the National Association of City Transportation that has guidelines on e-bikes and guidelines on sharing trails. I've looked at it, it's quite lengthy. It really doesn't give us an exact science either. But I think the thing that's come out of the group is there are really three main issues or three main things to understand with e-bikes. One is most of the cities, including Murray, we have complaints about e-bikes, but we don't have more complaints about e-bikes than we do other users. So that's something to be considered. The other is there is a segment of the population that is using e-bikes that wouldn't be on the river and wouldn't be doing exercise or walking without the e-bikes.
Right.
So.
Now I know what I remember the citizen that came to me.
And then the third thing that I think is of importance is the Jordan River Trail is also a commuter trail. There are people that ride the trail that go to work,
Yes.
go to school. A lot of those people are using e-bikes and they're just as safe often or most times as regular bikers. So
Yeah.
anyway, there's not an answer to that, but those are the three things that I look at and think are important to understand when people are talking to you about outlawing e-bikes or allowing e-bikes.
Yeah.
Questions?
Yeah, I almost get hit by e-bikes every time I walk.
Yeah.
This morning's walk, I went around the neighborhood, came back Germania, down to 54th, and in that little track right there, from there to Germania Park, 5 bikes passed me. 2 were safe, 3 were boys, early teens, who were goofing around, and they're the ones that I had to jump out of the way for, because they would have hit me otherwise.
Yeah. And the entry level e-bikes, which is what most people ride, they won't go much faster or the same speed as a regular bike.
Right.
Yeah.
And some of the road bikes get.
And maybe it's educating people. I don't know.
I thought speed bumps. If these boys knew there's a speed bump here, they wouldn't be going
Please
15
don't-
miles an
Please don't
hour.
put speed bumps on our trail.
I don't know.
Please don't.
If we can,
All right, let's pick on Paul now.
Spill my beer. Sorry.
if we could go back in time, we would have 2 separate trails. A wider trail and separate trails, but
Right.
but I think we're lucky we have the trail.
Can we add a lane?
We've looked at that. There's some areas you could, but most
Because you get under like
most areas,
53rd, there's just not
most areas.
If you add lane, you have to build a sound wall.
It's a good problem to have.
And then we're raising taxes.
Yeah, no, it's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, if they're
Yeah,
not
I'm glad we
complaining
had this
about it, they're not
conversation.
using it.
Yeah.
Thanks, Skip.
Thank you.
Cindy's not
you.
here, because Cindy, I told Cindy when you were telling that, I says, if you see Paul, do not run him over.
Don't run Paul over.
Cindy does her
I'm on the
e-bikes,
trail every
you know,
day, people.
Everywhere, up where you're at, all over.
If you're watching on camera, don't run me over.
We need to
Okay,
follow
our
fast.
next one is Central Valley Water that will be presented by our mayor, Hales.
So Central Valley, it's a sewer. So if you've ever gone down in that area, that's what you're smelling. They're right off of 33rd, about 9th West. So
Golf course.
yes, you golf there?
My son does all the time.
Oh,
I don't get it.
okay.
I don't get it.
Okay, well, it'll be interesting because they're gonna be doing something like that. Anyway, The final bond was issued, the bond that was approved to build the plant
Yes.
it was December 24th, so this is the final installation, $87 million to complete the plant. This is the final funding, which is a component needed to complete all current nutrient removal projects that are underway, as well as funding needed to complete the asset management projects related to the biosolids digestion and dewatering. Central Valley finished the year, they're on the calendar year, 88% of their budget spent, which was pretty impressive with all that's going on and everything. Of course, it had a lot of bonding, so. Some of the items that contributed to this budget savings are lower fuel costs, finally. And it was interesting, when I was sitting there watching, we were already going through our thing with the power, and it was so interesting to watch them, and I'm thinking like, yeah, we just spent months of worrying about the same thing, and then it hit them hard. It hit them big time hard. But anyway, they've dropped, and lower chemical costs are due to that also. They completed a $52 million major capital project in 2024. Total of 6 major construction projects that are ongoing at the plant to meet new phosphorus limits mandated by the State Division of Water Quality. So that's what's going on over there. There's always something going on, and I'm telling you, whenever I walk into those things, I love it that Ben goes to those, because I'm over here going like, okay, I'm okay. I'm okay. It is like, they get used to it. They say that all the time. They said, we're used to it. And I said, I guess these monthly meetings are not making me used to it. It's going to be beautiful. And I don't know when the open house is, but I'll find out when.
Oh, yeah.
And you should definitely go. This thing is massive.
I want to see it.
I've watched,
Yeah.
little knowledge that I have of this stuff, just watching it be, for the last few years being put together. It's been, I mean, when we did this, it's so teeny compared to what they did. It's so massive, and it's like, it's amazing. They're claiming, I think Diana and I talked about this, I think they're claiming that you could drink the water and be okay. That's how clean this is gonna be. I said, yeah, I won't.
Yeah.
Well, we have fluoride in it right
I
now,
don't
so,
think
you
there's no
know.
fluoride. I can't have that. There's no fluoride. So. That's my report. Yeah, they're proud of that.
Wow.
You can drink it.
Wow.
I'll watch it.
Sounds good.
All right, next, is that it, Mayor?
Yeah,
Thank you. Next is NeighborWorks and Murray Chamber of Commerce, Elvon Farrell. Welcome, Elvon.
How are you?
Good.
I like that tie. Thank you. Let's go ahead and plug in here.
That's gonna be my new living room color.
That's why I wore it.
I have one.
Yes. Can you see that all right? Great. So, as part of our partnership with NeighborWorks that we've had since about 2011, we sit on their board, and we also have a specific Murray advisory board as well that's made up of 5 citizens from Murray. And I'm just going to go through some information on what's happened with NeighborWorks in 2024 and then kind of what to look forward to. So the RDA allocated $400,000 to NeighborWorks, $200,000 of that specifically for down payment assistance, and $200,000 specifically for home improvement grants. NeighborWorks was able to help 21 homes with down payment assistance and 1 with home improvement. There are 2 that are currently pending for applications for home improvement as well. And then we also were able to have 1 employee take advantage of the employee down payment assistance.
That's 100% increase.
It is. From 2023.
You're 100% of what we just got. You're the first one.
Yeah, so that was really exciting, and hopefully we can see more of that going forward. So employee down payment assistance, we've designated $150,000, and then that individual was able to get $30,000.
That's when I'm building.
Yeah.
Has the school come around, any school teachers or employees in the school?
Not as of yet.
Okay.
Yeah, but
I thought for sure. Okay.
yeah. Part of it is kind of getting more and more of the employees to actually know about the assistance that they're able to access.
Did we get that information to the school district?
Yeah.
We did.
And then we had 2 homes that were served by Rake Your Heart Out, and we're looking for more homes to participate in Rake Your Heart Out and Paint Your Heart Out in 2025.
Well, you can come to my house. You're not getting older.
And then Trip Lane, it's close to moving forward with building and selling the homes. There's been some just a little bit of hurdles with the platting and with the previous
Now, 11 homes or
12.
12? Okay. And the school district's working with NeighborWorks from our meeting with the school board, that Jen Covington said that they're working with them, so.
Yeah, I
there
think
won't
there's
be-
communication
because of
going
their
back and
changing
forth
of
with what
a
they're
new school.
doing.
And it's such a good example of what's going on in the world today with housing. You got NeighborWorks. They are honestly, they're a great organization that help people, and I can't remember what the median price is of those homes, but it's not.
It's
cheap.
not.
Because it's what it is. But
Yes.
you would think it would be more of affordable housing, but I don't know how you call that affordable housing, and they were very upfront with us when they were doing those. That do you know the median price of each home?
I'd have to
I know we reported that to
calculate
us,
that.
but-
Yeah.
Is it like 600?
Yeah.
Oh, 700,000.
Yeah.
700,000. So therefore, my earthquake insurance just went up because I can't replace it for 200,000.
And most of the people who are able to access the down payment assistance are looking at condos.
Yeah.
Things like that.
Yeah.
And then there's no longer any funds in the general down payment assistance bucket until we allocate more.
Okay.
And then similar to NeighborWorks Salt Lake, as part of our membership with the Chamber of Commerce, we sit on their board as well. And just looking back at 2024, they have 105 current members made up of businesses and entrepreneurs. They had 16 business opening events. They were able to help the Children's Food Pantry distribute 300 turkey dinners around Thanksgiving. They have over 100 average monthly attendees to chamber events and classes that they do. And then they had around 5,900 people attend the Utah Hot Air Balloon Palooza that they put on in September.
Elvon, how does that compare with last year?
So that was their first year.
That is last year.
No, I mean, like the current members, how many members?
I think it
last year? Has
typically
grown?
fluctuates around 105, depending on renewals.
So it's just stayed the same, it hasn't grown?
Yeah.
Okay.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Is, for new business owners, is your department or CED department still giving money to new businesses to be part of the chamber? Is that happening?
So as part of our membership fees that we pay to the chamber,
Yeah.
Any new business that's new to Murray has the ability to have 1 year free
1 year,
membership.
okay. And 3 of us council members went to the flower shop, Fox.
Oh, great.
Love, yeah, Fox
I
Love.
saw your picture.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. Sounded like a great event. So we want to see those types of businesses thrive here.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's great in being in Bear Clay.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and that's just there, right in the first floor of the Murray Depot.
Yes.
Yeah, and then so upcoming, they are still having regular education networking events such as the referral community and women in business. They work with the Children's Food Pantry to provide service opportunities that businesses can participate and others. They're going to be hosting the 2025 legislative review on February 22nd. That will be sponsored by Intermountain Health.
Yep.
And then they're doing Plates for a Purpose in May. And will be at the Armory. That's so instead of their regular gala. At the end of May.
Okay, it's their gala.
And yeah,
Got it,
so
okay.
instead of their usual gala, they're hosting an event to showcase local chefs and restaurants.
Oh, fabulous.
Yeah. And then they're planning on doing the Utah Hot Air Balloon Palooza in September again.
Good.
And then they have community participation with NYCC, Partners for Prevention, and many other organizations. and they're hosting the Co-Starters program, which is for entrepreneurs and young businesses.
Do they know when that's gonna happen yet, the hosting the co-starters?
Co-Starters, that has started.
That started?
Yeah.
Started last week.
Okay.
Yep.
And,
But they are planning, I think, to make this a regular, reoccurring
okay,
education.
And the first version of it, our first cycle, they got a full they filled it up.
What is it?
So it goes through, it's an education for entrepreneurs and young businesses to help them walk through those processes of starting a business, working through their business plan and giving them those.
this isn't the one with the kids, right? It's for adults that are starting businesses? Or
Yeah,
is-
it's for adults. WAPED is sponsoring it.
Who is?
WAPED.
Oh, right,
Yeah,
I
it's
should
a
do
10-week
that.
course.
yeah, okay.
So is it in person, online?
In person
And where is it held?
at the chamber's offices. They're at Indy Square.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
Any other questions?
And the legislative review, I went and, oh man, that's scary. Because I had just been voted in and they had it in January and I didn't, the mayor was not around and I'm going, they want you to speak and I'm going, okay, what am I speaking about? But it's fun. I think all council members, if you have the time and you can make it, that would be great. It was a fun event and the breakfast was wonderful and it was great to be with those folks.
On that legislative review, I have been asked if any of you guys think you can come to let me know they're trying to get a head count on that.
Yeah.
For February 21st. So,
22nd.
22nd, that day too.
I will be there, even though it's my husband's birthday. Oh,
Gotta have your priorities.
22nd is a
Saturday.
Saturday, yeah.
At what time again?
9 o'clock to 10 p.m.
In the morning.
Yeah.
Diane.
Yes.
I'll pick you up at 8:30.
Wow.
You are.
She can parallel park.
She has a camera and she knows how to parallel park.
Great.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, our next is Association of Municipal Council, Councilwoman Diane.
That's me, and we haven't done anything yet. We've kind of been organizing, and we're gonna have it here, and it will be the third Thursday? Okay, every other month. So it will start in February, then it will go to April, although there's already a conflict, so we're gonna have to deal with that. And then, and it's gonna be at noon. And anyone who wants to join us, you're welcome to, you don't have to. And so we'll see how many cities we get to participate. It's really a great organization and the county provides, information, training, so it's good. Dennis kind of follows COG, so
It was one of my favorite committees.
yeah, I know that's
Other
true.
people like you, and you can talk to them from different cities. And
Yeah.
I got great ideas.
Yeah, oh, I know, me too.
How
I
many
always learn so much.
How many
How many
cities
people are
come?
there? It's the county.
Oh, it's just the
When
county?
we were doing it, it was crowded, like. there
I know, you
20,
used to
30
get
people
so many.
That showed up.
We get maybe
Oh, yeah, we
7,
never had
8,
that. It was packed.
I
A
know.
lot from the county, but we still have cities.
I've sent out a letter, cause I'm at this point the chair, that may change, but trying to get people interested and let them know what it's about, so anyway, we're hoping to get more information, and we're gonna take more information from COG, cause a lot of people have no idea what's going on there, and it's kind of interesting, for the council to know what's going on in COG. And often the mayors don't bring it back, and that's what we found, so. Anyway, so we're gonna do some of that.
Do you think maybe when people get voted out or voted in, change of council people, that it hasn't, the information about this?
Yeah, could be, and that's why I'm
Municipal thing?
hoping that,
Yeah.
providing the information to council members and council directors can provide provide that. So I think you guys probably all received an email, right?
Yeah.
about it?
Yep, we did.
So.
I did, yeah.
And Diane has put a ton of work in the last, she's not gonna tell you, in the last couple months, getting things together, trying to recruit cities. That has been one of her main goals for the past year. I can say that because I've worked with her on this. She's really trying hard to get people, I think COVID killed it.
I do too.
I do too. It's just,
Yeah, I never thought of
And
that.
she's put a ton of work in, so
valuable.
hopefully we'll have a big turnout this year.
Yeah, I really hope so too.
They have to, that's how big it's gonna get.
We even provide lunch.
That's assuming it's finished.
Or it could be at the theater.
Yeah, we provide lunch, so it's really really helpful. So anyway, that's it.
All right.
That's all I've got.
Well, we will adjourn this meeting and we will start our council meeting at 6:30. Thank you for being here. Thank you for the reports.